Good morning. I wanted to hop on and talk about your success because publishing a book is not the only piece of it. And what do I mean by that? So, as I'm pulling this up, there we go. Um, yeah, what do I mean by that? Usually you think about like that's it. That is the top of the mountain. Finally made it. You've published your book. There's always a now what. Right? So once you've published that book, that is not the last piece. That is absolutely not it. And part of that, there are two parts. So I'm going to address this first part first. Um, Part of it is whenever you are publishing your book, you can't just hit publish or, tell your publisher, hey, ready to go, thumbs up, all good. You can't just do that. You have to actually go beyond that. You have to have that marketing piece. You have to reach out to media. You have to let people know that you've published. Okay. And you've probably heard me talking a lot about that because I have seen plenty of people just hit, self publish, put it up on Amazon and go, all right, my work is done here. I have published my book. Who's going to find you? How are people going to buy that book? Right? Yes, you absolutely want people buying that book. You absolutely want people to read it and come back to you and do all that wonderful stuff. So you have to make sure that you have the media part of the puzzle. You have to make sure that you have PR, you let people know that that book is coming out. I always recommend talking about it at least 3 months in advance. Um, Bare minimum, like posting a little bit on Facebook and LinkedIn and letting people know, hey, I've got a book coming out. This is the launch date. We're pretty excited. This is what it's about. That is the absolute bare minimum you need to be doing with your book. Steps beyond that, pitching podcasts, pitching local media, pitching events, speak at, networking groups, speak at Rotary Club, whatever it is. Make sure you're getting out there and talking about that book so people know it's available. Um, Absolutely bring books with you when you're doing those live events too, because people are going to buy them live. They love having a signed copy. I always tell people mark it down $1 or $2 from what you sell it for on Amazon because it encourages people to buy it then and have it signed, and that's really cool. The One of the neatest things is, in my opinion, is meeting an author in person, talking to them about their book, and then having a signed copy of it. I've done that before at book events. I've traded books with other authors and, just flat out bought books before and talked to them about what inspired that story because that is so super cool. So that's a little bit of a tangent, but that's something to get excited about for those live events whenever you do them. So that's one piece of the puzzle. The other piece is getting your mindset around the fact that you are a published author and you have to do something more than just publishing the book. And I think this is a piece that a lot of people don't realize. You have to prepare for publishing that. You have to get yourself built up to the point that you can be a leader, that you can publish that book, and that you can own the fact that you're a bestseller and talk about it. And I don't mean brag. Yeah, we say brag sometimes when we mean talk about it, but you absolutely need to let people know that you have a book. I know there are a lot of people out there when I'm like going through Facebook and I'm looking for new connections, and they won't have author on their bio on their Facebook page, and then I'll hear somebody later be like, "Oh yeah, I'm an author. I wrote this book, or I participated in this anthology," and I'm like, "Why does it not say author anywhere on your stuff? Tell people." Because sometimes, when somebody is meeting you and or that maybe they've been following your content for a while, they'll see, hey, she's an author or he's an author, and I'd really like to get a little bit more of their knowledge. I'm going to go get their book and see what they're all about, because a lot of times that's something working in the background. You don't have to be pitching your book to every single person you meet. Okay, all you have to do is say you're an author, get your personality out there, get your knowledge out there, and people will go buy that book. Okay, Sometimes all it takes is saying author of whatever book. So people need to know that. Put it in all your bios. Own it. And, every once in a while, you need to be talking about that book. Do a Facebook Live, do a post, just mentioning the book. But a lot of this ownership, it goes down to stuff that's going on deep inside of you. If you don't feel like you're worthy of publishing that book, sometimes you'll just sneak it out there, right? Like if you're on a podcast and you don't share it, it's the same sort of thing. If you have other accomplishments in your business and you don't share them, it's the same thing. It's just not feeling worthy. It's not feeling like you can actually own that expertise. Oh my God, what if somebody actually buys that book? I just wanted to check that off and be like, oh yes, I'm an author. Okay, we did that, got it done. So start asking yourself some questions and see if you are actually ready for that, because you may need some mindset stuff. You may need to work with a life coach or a mindset expert or something like that. And I've partnered with them before. I've partnered with Marilee Smith, and Stacey Rasky is one of my partners on my private program. So that has always been a piece that I know is important, because not only does it take that to actually get the book out, you actually have to own your story and own that expertise and be able to write it. But then once you publish it, you are up leveling. Okay, hitting publish is up leveling. It's an automatic up level, and sometimes you fight it. Sometimes your body is going to say, I can't handle this. You're going to shake. You're going to be nervous. You're going to cry. You may feel like you're super excited and then all of a sudden plummet and be like, oh my God, what did I do? What did I do? So be aware that these are some of the feelings that are going to come up, and emotions are okay. I want to say that emotions are okay. I always tell my kids that. Emotions are okay. It's perfectly fine to have feelings surrounding that launch. It's fine to have feelings surrounding releasing that book, but you can't let those feelings get in the way of releasing the book, getting it out there, reaching the audience that you need to reach. So make sure that you are working on that stuff. Take care of those emotions. That's one of the things that we've been talking about in the group this week. I posted a poll talking about emotions. I did a little bit the other day talking about the excitement. Don't forget that the fear and the confusion and the stress, the anger, all of those kind of things, you might get angry at yourself and be like, the hell was I thinking getting that book out there? There are a lot of different things that you might feel afterward, and just know that a lot of that is your ego jumping in and saying, hey, we weren't ready for this. Hey, we needed a little bit more work. And maybe it's something that a cup of coffee or a dip in the bathtub is going to fix, but it might also be something that you need to work on personally with a coach, or through Reiki, or whatever it is that you need to do. So I wanted to put that out there, the two pieces of owning that publishing journey, because it is not over when you hit publish. You need that marketing and you need that inner work, and you need them to work together to get you to that point in leadership where you can own your book. So if you have questions about that, you want to comment, please share with me about some of those emotions that are coming up, because sometimes you can project forward and think about it. So tell me what you're thinking. How does it feel? Where are you feeling it? Is it in your gut? Is it in your throat? A lot of times I get stuff in my throat whenever I'm getting like stressed or nervous about something. So tell me about it. Drop your comments below and have a great day.